Greetings, AMCers. I'm John Campea. As all of you know by now, a few days ago, the world lost one of its great visionaries, Mr. Steve Jobs. Now, it's understandable that over the past few days, media outlets and people online all over the world have been pouring out tributes remembering Steve Jobs and the way he revolutionized not only personal computing, but also personal music and the music industry as a whole with the introduction of iTunes and the iPod, the way he revolutionized the phone industry with the iPhone and many, many other innovations. Right now, I'm joined by Contention senior editor Kris Tapley. And Kris, one of the things we don't hear a lot of people talking about over the past few days is about the way Steve Jobs has influenced and revolutionized in many ways the movie industry. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was actually the first thing I think that I thought of whenever I heard that he had passed was how much he's changed the film industry. I mean, you can start with him backing Pixar in the mid-'80s and kind of pushing them forward at a time when they really needed that kind of a boost. And obviously, the rest was history on that. But, more importantly, you just think of, it kind of goes without saying in a way, but just the way the devices from Apple have influenced the way we consume entertainment. I mean, yeah, on one hand, things like iPads and iPhones, these kinds of things would have eventually happened in some way, but I think that what he did was go to great lengths to, as I say this, my iPhone tells me I have an email. He went to great lengths to help standardize these things by ease of use. And when you think about things like a Netflix application that you can watch a movie or a TV show or whatever on the go. I mean, I think a lot of the ease of use and the ease of consumption really goes back to his kind of spearheading of that movement in a way. So yeah, I mean, I think it's always gonna be something too that's not really on the at the forefront of what people are going to discuss when it comes to him, but it's really going to be at the forefront of how we live our lives as far as consuming entertainment, and it'll just be this unknown thing, really, in a way.
Well, Kris, let's talk about Pixar for a minute. As a lot of people may not realize or may not remember, Steve Jobs actually bought Pixar, or what was to become Pixar, from George Lucas back in the 80s for a measly $5 million. It was like a small graphics arm of Lucasfilm for a while. He took that and with more than a little bit of help from John Lasseter, built it into this movie giant Pixar Studios, turning out quality film after quality film after hit film after hit film. A few years later, he sells Pixar to Walt Disney for upwards in the neighborhood of $7+ billion and single-handedly becomes the single largest shareholder in Disney. And a lot of people don't realize that. Talk a little bit about Pixar, this creation of Steve Jobs, and how it has influenced and revolutionized the movie industry.
Before we get to that, actually, I should just say that, being the single largest shareholder of Disney is a big deal in the film industry in and of itself. You're talking about a company that owns ABC, ESPN. I mean, entertainment stretches farther than just films and TV as far as creative entertainment. I mean, it stretches into, watching sports on ESPN and watching things on ABC, reality television, and that's all under the banner of Disney. So to be a guy that has a major say in Disney business is kind of a big deal in the film industry, But regarding Pixar, yeah, I mean, how much money has that company made since the Toy Story days? It's a huge company that's done a lot for critical and commercial enterprises, because it's not just these aren't it's become the kind of line on the company that it's films that are for kids and for adults and for critics, but it's true. I mean, these movies are critically acclaimed. They make a lot of money, and that's influence, because we need in the film industry movies like The Dark Knight, like the Pixar films that are popular entertainment that make a lot of money, but aren't dumbed down entertainment, if you will. And I think Pixar really led the way for that, and I think a lot of the animated companies began to take their lead, and you end up getting films like Rango as of late, that it's clear that animation companies saw the benefit of what Pixar did. And I don't really know what kind of an influence Steve Jobs had on Pixar later. I mean, he obviously sold it, but to kind of plant those seeds early on and to give them that leg up to find that creative stride is a big deal.
Well, Kris, thanks a lot for taking some time out to share some of your thoughts on Steve Jobs. And thank you, AMCers, for taking some time to join us. I'm John Campea for AMC Theaters, where movies live.